Hi, I'm Rich Schwerin with Oracle Marketing. Today we're going to focus on Oracle eBusiness Suite and Oracle Premier Support. And joining me today is Jeannie Lowell. Hi Jeannie, how you doing?
Very well. Happy to be here to help share the broader message.
Good. Glad you're here. Listen, before we dive in, maybe you can tell us a little about your role. What is it you do for Oracle?
Sure. So I'm Vice President of Application Strategy within the EBS Development Organization, a team of people committed to, dedicated to innovating on eBusiness Suite. My primary responsibility is to help shape and then communicate the overall strategy of eBusiness Suite and helping customers understand that strategy so they can figure out their own strategy.
Good. The perfect person to talk to today. You and I were talking off camera about how Oracle helps customers get ahead and stay ahead. And in terms of support, Oracle makes a promise that's unique in the industry, and that's lifetime support. Can you talk us through the lifetime support policy, its stages, and what it means to eBusiness Suite customers?
Sure. Oracle's lifetime support policy applies to all of its products. It has 3 stages, Premier, Extended, and Sustaining. Those stages are based on number of years since the GA release or general availability release of a product. Fundamentally in support, customers get the ability to have fixes to the software, get legislative updates for business applications, and also get certifications to new technologies, whether it be browsers, operating systems, and third-party technologies. So available for all of our products, both technology and applications. What's important for eBusiness Suite customers that I want to highlight is that policy applies to all of our products. But eBusiness Suite, we've recently made some changes to our support policies for 11.5.10 and 12.1 as we've gotten feedback from customers as they're going through their upgrade from 11.5.10 to 12.1. Okay. The first change was around the 11.5.10. We've introduced an exception to sustaining support, which gives an additional 13 months in the first 13 months of sustaining support to get additional services that customers typically wouldn't get in sustaining support. Good. So it's really a risk mitigation if customers happen to go past the extended support timeline for 11.5.10 during their upgrade project, but it's really a risk mitigation that Oracle's got your back if that happens.
There's some breathing room there.
Exactly, exactly. And then the next change was around 12.1, customers upgrading to release 12.1, the latest release of eBusiness Suite. We've extended the extended support timeline from it was initially 3 years out, but now to December 2018. The purpose of that was to give customers a longer timeline from which they can take advantage of the upgraded system that they're on. And then finally, for these 3 eBusiness Suite releases, we've waived the extended support uplift fees. So it really lets customers take advantage of the value that eBusiness Suite has and get the support offerings with standard support fees.
Very good. So you're talking about timelines. You have one on the screen. Let's talk about history. This is a product with a long legacy. You walk us through some of the highlights of Oracle eBusiness Suite, specifically focusing on Oracle's ongoing investments.
Sure. So eBusiness Suite builds upon our 25 years of investment focused on a product that's premises around a global single instance, a data model, single data model, integrated processes, and integrated functions across ERP, supply chain, and CRM. With that, we've continued to deliver releases. Here on this slide, we actually note some of our latest releases. Many customers on 11.5.10 kind of noted that support timeline. And then we've released a 12 and a 12.1, with our latest release being 12.1.3. We are then having a roadmap beyond that, with 12.2 being the next major release that we plan to put out in the next 12 months. After that point, we expect to do minor point releases, typically every 6 to 12 months after that, and expect there will be a 12.3 that will baseline. So we're committed to a very long roadmap that customers can expect Oracle to be supporting and innovating on eBusiness Suite, particularly those who are upgrading and reinvesting in their eBusiness Suite.
I heard a keyword there, upgrade. We don't have a lot of time, but could you tell us in a concise way, in terms of upgrade, what do Oracle recommend to eBusiness Suite customers and why?
Sure. The general recommendation to our eBusiness Suite customers, particularly those upgrading from 11.5.10, is to, 1, upgrade to the latest release of eBusiness Suite, which would be 12.1. And then the second is, look at a coexistence of the rest of our applications offering. And typically one that people ask about is Fusion Apps. So look at a coexistence of Fusion Apps against their eBusiness Suite. Again, reinforcing that Oracle's Apps Unlimited, we're committed to continue innovating in our existing product lines at the same time that we've actually put out Fusion Apps. Really parallel product lines and letting customers choose what makes sense for them. Based on that recommendation, and talking to many customers about their upgrade plans, I want to share with you how we've learned how customers have been effective and how do they take advantage of eBusiness Suite. So let me briefly step you through that.
Let's take a look.
So the first thing customers notice, when I first look at upgrading from 11.5.10 to 12.1, like for like, what value do I get? We said, well, if you're not taking advantage of the new things, okay, you're aligned with the support timelines, but there's a lot more value you can get from Oracle. The next step is to look at the new features we've put in the products that you're using, whether it be in financials, in a number of things, but like shared service efficiencies, or in procurement with the buyer's workbench, or any of the other products. And so look at those new features and take advantage of that. Part of the support offering that we have is you get that innovation. The next is to look at a new offering we just put out recently, which is EBS Extensions for Endeca, which is a new set of products that leverage some in-memory database with Endeca that delivers real-time information discovery against the transactions in the ERP, so helping users know what they need to do and focus on exceptions, and really let them be much more efficient and effective in what they're doing. And so we're offering that. We've delivered a first set of products, and so customers can look at deploying that on 12.1. So another value that we're adding. The next step is to look at, are there new products that eBusiness Suite has put out? We've put out 12 plus new products with 12.1. And so a typical example I highlight is in procurement customers who have a supplier definition from which they buy. But now we've expanded that and created a supplier hub and a supplier lifecycle management product, which lets you enrich the supplier data, manage, understand compliance, understand or better support the onboarding of suppliers, and really getting feedback in how well those suppliers are doing, not just on a transactional basis, but feedback from key stakeholders. And some feedback from key business users that I've had conversations, they said, we have that issue because we're trying to understand who are our good suppliers and how do we then ensure we're focusing on the ones that we want to. And these products help you do that. So another way that we can leverage the value of 12.1, and you're extending, but you're building upon what you have and just adding some of those definitions in core EBS.
Real good.
And then finally, we look at that coexistence. EBS is very much the core ERP, but then there's a lot of products that Oracle offers in our broad apps portfolio that they can then put as a coexistence option, whether it be around Hyperion for enterprise planning and budgeting, it would be Agile, or Fusion Apps. A typical example of Fusion Apps, as customers want to understand what Fusion Apps is and meet a business need, would be using EBS ERP, and then using Fusion Talent Management in the cloud. So an example of kind of coexistence from which they can take advantage of what Oracle offers.
Okay. Lot to digest there.
Lots to digest, and kind of an overall step. Upgrade is the first step of taking advantage of what eBusiness Suite innovation delivers to our customers.
So recommendation, upgrade. Lots of great reasons to upgrade. So now I'll ask, what does Oracle do to ensure that an eBusiness Suite customer has success in upgrading?
Sure. There's a number of service offerings that we offer to our customers. And then probably the first starts with consulting, which has an offering around eBusiness Suite Path Forward, which they help customers in the evaluation, the planning, and the execution of their upgrade project. So really leverage the expertise that consulting brings. They can also be, customers can also be using Oracle support, both in terms of the knowledge base and the best practices that we've shared that are available on My Oracle Support, so that they can actually do as much of their own planning and taking advantage of what Oracle offers around our products. Next, moving on to advanced customer services, can help with then doing some additional things to even older products that they need some additional support on, and so they can help with that. Oracle University can help with training, particularly focused on an implementation team who wants to understand some of these new things that are available. And then finally, many customers are looking at hosted offering and saying moving from an on-premise to hosting, particularly in the upgrade cycle. There's a lot of moving parts, and they're looking at, should we actually move to hosting? Oracle hosted cloud, managed cloud services, or formerly known as Oracle On Demand, can deliver that to customers with hosted and then managed services for their EBS instance. So a lot of different things at Oracle of service offerings around the products that we deliver.
That's a lot to cover. So, but beyond that, are there other ways that eBusiness Suite customers get value from Oracle?
Absolutely. When we look at from a product solution perspective, I mean, here we're showing the Oracle stack. Starting from applications, middleware, database, then leveraging the virtualization and down into the servers and the storage. First, it starts with the coexistence of applications, of other applications, and I kind of highlighted that when I covered from an upgrade. Other things is leveraging the virtualization capability we now have and some of the VM templates that we deliver for eBusiness Suite. And it also moves into the middleware, the Fusion middleware technology, looking at some external certifications of products that aren't automatically packaged with eBusiness Suite that they can then take advantage of and really use more broadly than eBusiness Suite, whether it be around identity management, the SOA suite from an integration perspective, an enterprise manager from overall system management. And capabilities also in the database in really managing this broad enterprise. And then finally, engineered systems.
Oh yes, yes, extreme
is
performance.
extreme performance.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we're seeing that there is better in performance, both response time and scalability of taking a just vanilla e-business suite solution and running it on Exadata and Exalogic. So a lot of choices that customers have to take advantage of this broader Oracle Red Stack.
Real good. I know we just scratched the surface, but as we run out of time, I want to ask one last question. How can an e-business suite customer get more information? Where should they go?
Sure. There's a lot of ways that they can get information, and there's a number of things here on the slide, but a couple that I want to highlight. First is on My Oracle Support, we've created a EBS 12.1 Info Center, which is really an index to a lot of best practices and documents that they can really understand what does 12.1 offer to them. And also we'll be putting for our new products, 12.2, et cetera. And then also I want to highlight there's a blog that, particularly for apps tech, what's changing, because a lot changes, whether it be certifications and how do I do things. And so there's an EBS apps tech blog. There's other things here that I noted, and also probably want to highlight is the EBS demos. We have a channel on YouTube which is now starting to show some demos, particularly with EBS extensions for Endeca, because the best way to understand what that is to watch the demo. And so a lot of other ways you get information, but I'd say those are the ones that I'd highlight for this purpose.
Really good. Well, thank you so much for all your time today, Jeannie.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much.
And thank you for everyone out there for watching. Also, for more information, please visit oracle.com/support. Thanks.